and welcome to TTV News with some latest event in TayNinhTV province. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning of November 24, the Provincial Party Committee and Provincial People Committee have a meeting to meet and talk directly between the heads of the party committee, the government with the Fatherland Front, social political organization, and people in the province. Mr. Nguyễn Thành Tâm, Provincial Party Secretary, Chairman of Provincial People Council, Mr. Nguyễn Thành Ngọc, Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of the Provincial People Committee, co-chairs the conference.
At the conference, the leaders of the Department of Planning and Investment informed the socio-economic development of the province in 2020. Leaders of the Commission for Mass Mobilization of the Provincial Party Committee announced the results of handling returns of the people at the dialogue conference in 2019, with thousands of opinions about 22 contents related to the fields of environment, social order and safety, health, culture, land management, traffic, and party missions. Up to now, 12 contents have been handled completely, and 10 contents need a roadmap and implementation time. At the conference, delegates and people continue to give many opinions related to the fields of transportation, natural resources, environment, justice, and health. The opinions and proposals were received and clarified by leaders of functional departments, branches, and leaders of the Provincial People's Committee, which basically created consensus. In the conclusion speech, Mr. Nguyễn Thành Tâm thanked the opinions of agencies and people, showing that enthusiasm and responsibility with the spirit of contribution to the provincial leadership and governance. According to his direction, for the unclear comments, the functional departments continue to consider and settle in accordance with the regulations that notify agencies and individuals. In addition, he also requested branches and localities to continuously implement the citizen meeting, settle complaints, denunciations, and proposals of people in accordance with the law, ensuring the publicity, transparency, and full information about the settlement process so that people can know and avoid the protracted, backlog, and frustrating situation causing frustration among the people. TayNinhTV is one of the provinces with relatively high rate disbursement of ODA capital. This is a great effort of TayNinhTV province in implementing solutions to remove difficulties for productions and business, promoting disbursement of public investment capital in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. By the end of October, TayNinhTV has disbursed more than 176 billion Vietnam dong of ODA capital, reaching nearly 92% of the plan. The projects are currently implemented according to the proposed plan. According to the assessment of the Provincial People's Committee, the progress of disbursement of public investment capital in the remaining months of 2020 will be well improved. The estimated amount of implementation and disbursement of ODA projects in 2020 will reach 100% plan. Thereby, it creates resources and driving force to promote socio-economic recovery and development, especially in the situation of adverse effects of the COVID-19 epidemic.
Following the National Target Program, the districts and town have implemented 12 projects to support the development of production and linkage in accordance with value chains, in which 2 projects in Tân Biên and Châu Thành districts have been disbursed 100%. Meanwhile, the remaining 10 projects are waiting for appraisal and approval.
TayNinhTV Provincial Department of Agriculture and Rural Development cooperated with the University of Social Sciences and Humanities to organize 4 classes to implement the project of national program on One Khmer One product in the area for the period of 2020-2025 with a vision to 2030. Hoa Thanh Thao is implementing a project to support the development of rural industry, fisher and vegetarian fisher processing from cashew. According to the estimate of the Provincial People's Committee, in 2020, the total state budget revenue in the province will reach over 10,000 billion Vietnam dong, reaching 105% of the estimate, up 4.6% over the same period in 2019. In 2020, despite of facing many impacts from COVID-19 epidemic, many state budget revenues in the province have met and exceeded the planned targets. By early November, 7 out of 16 state budget revenues exceeded 100% of the plan, including revenues from enterprises with foreign invested capital, land use levies, and from import-export activities, dividends and profit after tax from lottery activities at the commune and other budget revenues. However, due to the impact of the COVID-19 epidemic, some tax revenues fell sharply compared to the estimates, such as revenues from state enterprises, the non-state sector, registration fee. The province currently has 3 out of 9 districts, towns and cities that have not met the state budget revenue.
In order to repair investment in capital construction projects newly started in 2020 and 2021, the Provincial People Committee has issued decision on allocating capital for investment preparation to 87 projects.
As of November 6, 2020, the units have been tasked with preparing reports on investment intentions. Currently, 4 projects have been proposed to stop implementation by project manager. 5 transition projects have been approved. 5 projects are the project component developing the fruit and vegetable value chain, applying information technology to the climate in Vietnam. For the period of 2021-2025, using the agricultural sector ODA capital approved by the Prime Minister, 73 projects need to be submitted to the Provincial People's Committee for consideration and approval. Among them, the Provincial People's Committee has decided to approve investment policies for 52 projects.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 years of building new style countryside, the rural appearance in the border province has changed markedly. It can be said that the rural people from poor and dark area have stepped up to the French civilization with a better life than previous time.
TayNin is a border province bordering on the Kingdom of Cambodia. After the liberation of the country, TayNin's economy faced many difficulties. Until 1986, the resolution of the 6th Congress of the party was born. Along with the whole country, the socialist-oriented renovation in TayNin began to be implemented. In the 2080s, the lives of TayNin people were still difficult. The 7th Central Conference, tenure, issued resolution number 26 on agriculture, farmer and countryside, including the third computing a new countryside, the most prominent feature after 10 years of implementing the program of new style countryside construction. The 2010-2020 period of TayNin province is the rural socio-economic infrastructure. More than 2,200 kilometers of rural roads will be invested. People donated more than 122,000 square meters of land, contributed over 110,000 workdays to build roads, contribute cash to buy land and stone to repair and upgrade 321 roads, install 8,000 boats to light the countryside, plant 7,300 trees, solidify 239 kilometers of the canal, 278 schools meeting national standards, to newly build and upgrade 36 communal cultural, sport and community learning centers, 255 standard cultural houses, renovate and upgrade 15 rural markets, 80 out of 80 communes ensure the provision of post and telecommunication services. Over 98% of families register cultural families and 100% of religious establishments register civilized religious belief bases. It must be said that since Thanh Dong commune was built at the new countryside up to now, people's material and spiritual life has been greatly improved. Some roads, canals and local public works are very clean, beautiful, creating favorable conditions for people to travel. From the roads that were previously muddy, they are now concreted, asphalted, or covered with red gravel. It is a premise for the development of Thanh Dong commune in general and Thanh Quế hamlet in particular. The people are very excited after Thanh Dong was built at a new countryside. People made great contributions to construction of new style countryside. Among the communes that build the new style countryside, I see the highlight that the people strongly agree is to build infrastructure serving the socio-economic development of localities. We see that for every new rural commune to be built, first of all, the transport infrastructure is well developed, creating convenient conditions for people to travel and do business. The real estate price increases, having the electricity system, canals, irrigation work, and production of the people more convenient. The income also increases, while the rural appearance is renewed. Up to now, TayNin has 35 out of 71 communes meeting the new style rural standards. By the end of 2020, 45 out of 71 communes in TayNin province are expected to meet new style rural standards, accounting for over 66% of communes in the whole province, exceeding the target of the resolution of the 10th Provincial Party Congress. And now, many localities at commune level are aiming to build a vast new countryside.
That's all for Today News. Thank you for being with us and goodbye for now.